Hey, Charlie. How are you doing?
Good, nice to put a face to the name.
I know, yes, it's good. um, yeah, so thank you so much for doing this.
Not at
Really,
all, not at all.
really appreciate it. And obviously, we just wanted to start. We have to talk about TV Priest just initially, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Stay
that's fine. I obviously don't want to feel like I'm riding on anyone's coattails. Do you know what
No,
I mean? Like,
no, not at all, not at all. Um, so now that the album's out and all the response, how has that been? Is it frustrating that you can't tour it? Is that the one thing that you really have missed?
yeah, I think it's been quite weird. I mean, we've not, like, I was saying it to the rest of the guys the other day. I think we're not really, had the experience otherwise. So you don't. I think that's something that none of these songs have been played to anyone live ever, and I just don't know what the reaction will be or what that will do to the songs, what it will do to my performance of them. So I think I'm very excited by that. But obviously, yeah, I'm kind of like, put it this way, I wouldn't put an album out again if I was advising an artist to put an album out. Their first album, I would say don't do it in your house. Yeah, it was a bit it was a bit more introspective than I would have hoped.
I think, nobody knew how long this was going to last.
Yeah.
We had no idea it was going to be over a year. So, I suspect for a lot of bands like yourselves, it got to the point where, we've got this music, we want to get it recorded and out there,
Yeah.
because it was going, if this had all been over and done with in a couple of months, then it would have been a completely different story. But
Yeah.
obviously it's gone on and on and on. So you really wanted to get it out into the world,
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, and I think there wasn't any, I mean, certainly for us, like this is of, I think I've spoken about it before, but yeah, it's vastly exceeded.
The response has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been really nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
vastly exceeded our expectations of it. Like I kind of, yeah, it, you keep saying it, and I don't know if many people actually believe it. I think people think that, like, but honestly, it's me and my friends, and and obviously I make work for other people and that, but like this was just like a love thing, really, more than anything else, and just wanted to do it because we love it and love each other. So yeah, it was a bit, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's been lovely.
So then, but to do the performances, the Great Escape and South by Southwest, that must have been really odd with no audience, because you're really passionate and animated as a singer, and then when the song finishes, is there just silence?
Yeah, it was a bit odd. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I will be honest with you, Julia. Like, I've been in lots of other bands where that has been the reaction, even when the audiences were allowed to be around. So I had a bit of prior
experience of that reaction.
But it was a bit weird. It's nice when the like sound guy does does a bit of a clap, but some of them, the worst is when you're there and there's like there was like, and one we did where there was like another band waiting to come on directly after us, and they were just sat at the back, and I could just see them all the whole time just on their phones. And it was just like it was like the most damning thing.
That's
I was just like, oh man, you must hate this
at the moment. Give us a bit of reaction.
Yeah. But but also really in a way, like really lucky that we were asked to do those, because those have been the only, up until about a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe. Those are the only opportunities I really had to see the rest of the lads and like play music with each other, really, because we're all a bit spread out around kind of London and the southeast. So yeah, lucky that we got asked, even with it being a bit weird.
So now, and you have gigs in the diary. So now, is it the beginning of July? Are they the first ones?
Yeah, that's the first one, and then kind of we're not doing that many kind of. I know there's quite a lot of like day festival stuff, things like that, but I don't think we're doing that many this year, because we're trying to write another record between you and I.
Right.
So like our managers are just like, no, you can't do that. So then, you know, few little sporadic things to keep us ticking over, and then we're into the tour in October through to kind of end of November. And then we'll see. Who knows?
That's great. Lots on the horizon already. That's, you know,
Hopefully, yeah.
the end is in sight, isn't it? The end is in
Fingers crossed,
sight.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, I have to ask one very important question. Just looking at my notes. Any plans for any Irish dates?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're trying to work out at the moment. I think we're
Okay.
trying to work out all of the post UK stuff, all of the European stuff. We've got a few offers and stuff, but like we're trying to work out how to make it work with Brexit.
As if things weren't complicated enough. There's that on top, isn't there? Yeah.
But yeah, but 100%. Like I think that's the thing. We want to go everywhere really. So yeah, fingers crossed. I think fingers crossed either towards the end of the year or maybe at the start of next year. So you know, so again, fingers crossed.
Good, fantastic. So Fontaine's DC
and
artwork. So, oh my goodness, I've just got so many questions and where to start. So, but to give people a little bit of background, maybe it would be good if you could just talk a little bit about your own experience before you started working with Fontaine's DC.
Yeah, so I was I'd been I was a designer and you know had been making music for other bands for the best part of 10 years since, you know, I'd been in bands and stuff, and that had all finished, and most of my friends and peers were in other bands, so I'd kind of been doing that, and that led me to then work with a record label called Island Records, which took me into lots of very different strange places, working with lots of pop artists and people I never thought I'd work with, but something that was really, really exciting, you know, like that was something that was really exciting in terms of like, you know, being like an old punk and then someone being like, here's like a 15-year-old from, you know, such and such a place who's making pop, and how do those things, how does my mindset tie with theirs, and all of that kind of interesting tension that is kind of, you know, creative tension. So that was really exciting. And then I was there for quite a few years, about 4 years, and then I left and just set up on my own really. I think I was like actually I was working, I'd been working with quite a lot of different people, and I just thought like it's amazing working at a record label, but when you're a creative person inside a record label, like it's there's loads of amazing creative people, but I think when you're making artwork and stuff and things like that, there's always a bit of, because you're, you know, the way that things are structured, it's like, you know, you got the label and the manager and all of that, and I kind of felt like actually my place is more just if I want to be with making people happy with artwork, it's like being like direct with the artist really, you know, that's how I feel the best stuff comes.
I mean, you had I think am I right in saying that you were there at the right time and that you had quite a bit of freedom at the beginning?
Yeah.
So which would have been absolutely fantastic experience. Yeah. So and then there was you made the most of opportunity really, didn't you, while you were there?
What,
well,
Ireland? Yeah, really. Like, I mean, I think no one was really overseeing me, and I kind of came into that job like really, really junior in lots of ways, and just because I love artists and love working with other artists and being part of conversations like that, I think I just naturally kind of gravitated towards those people and built kind of personal relationships with those artists, because I think maybe we could talk about things in a you know, artist to artist kind of thing, which is quite nice. And there wasn't really much oversight. So I just kind of ran with it really, and I just met some really great people and worked on some really great projects, worked on some not so great ones, but they also taught me a load of stuff. But that was a couple of years ago really. Actually kind of kind of the year that Doggerel kind of, is that 2019, wasn't it, that came out?
Yeah.
I was leaving Ireland at that time, but I had met just through people that I knew, and I think I'd met the lads at a show or something, like, you know, and I think I'd only, there's a few people that I knew that, you know, but you know, they were still very much on the ascent and stuff, and we just got to talking, and I was talking to Carlos, and he seemed like a really, really nice dude and had loads of really great ideas, and you know, and he was talking about art and stuff, and I said, oh, you know, I'm a designer, so you ever need anything, like, just let me know. And it was as casual as that, really. I didn't really, you know, it wasn't like we like, I mean, obviously you're in the right place at the right time because you met people, and you know, you're like anything, you're part of a community of peers and people. So you know, I'll always be thankful for the fact that I went and worked at a place that allowed me to like meet people that could be like, oh, you might like these guys, you know.
And what you were just saying about you got along with them because of what you were saying about the art, it's creative people, and so you were having the sorts of conversations that meant that you got along, and then so I'm guessing it was just a natural thing that you said quite casually.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, I'm doing, you know, this is what I do.
can't speak for them, but I can't speak for them, but it felt natural to me, and also I think, you know, you're aware when you meet artists and people that the ones that like have something very pertinent or important to say, or that you resonate with, or that you think like this person's message really is really powerful, or this group of people's message is really powerful, and it really felt like that when I met those guys. Like, you know, like I'd seen them once, and I'd listened to the singles, but it wasn't like I was
yeah.
It you know, I think it was still people were discovering them, and
yes.
I just came to them in a way, and it was amazing just to have this kind of personal chat and be like, wow, these guys are really, you know, they've really got something to talk about. So that was really nice. And yeah, so that was, we kind of met, and there was like didn't really talk for a while, like nothing like that. And then I think it was through their promoter, a really nice guy called Dan, who they were playing their Brixton show, and Dan said, oh, I think the lads might want a poster. I think Carlos would like to like have a chat with you. And it was this kind of like weird, I don't know if you remember seeing it. The first thing I did for them is very different maybe to what we ended up doing, but it was this weird kind of almost like hand colored like circus kind of poster. It was based on the video that their friend, I think it's Hugh, did.
Yes.
You know, used kind of still of that, and then kind of did some like, you know, cut all the things out and did some like painting on it, and kind of, yeah, and we kind of just got to working on that, and I suppose that kind of was a bit of the catalyst of working together,
Okay.
really.
So the poster was the first thing that you did for them. So were you then involved with the horse's head logo?
No, I think
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. I think that might have been even Digo or Carlos, you know, like, because they still generate a lot of stuff themselves as well. Like, like Carlos still like designs, like, you might not know, but Carlos still like designs quite a lot of the t-shirts and stuff, and things like that. Like, so yeah, they're really, you know, they're really creative people, you know, and you know, Carlos is a really like budding photographer, like really good photographer as well. And yeah, so and like Digo's got a really like, so that, you know, Digo and Carlos are probably the two guys I was talking to the most about in the first instance, kind of art and stuff. They seem to kind of be the guys that have, you know, I think all of them have a pretty big hand in it, but I think that they maybe are in the more kind of like detail of it. So yeah, I think it might have been one of those guys that sorted that out, but I don't know.
Because it's really interesting how, because I've got Doggerel here. It's really interesting how the horse is like such an imagery for the whole, you know, obviously Fontaine's with the Johnny Fontaine from The Godfather, and then the horse, and then the branding of the horse's head.
Yeah.
But actually, I think the horse's head also came from an Irish artist. I know Digo has mentioned this in the past, Jack Yeats.
Yes.
Yeats, his brother.
Yeah.
So that, and some of those pictures, but I thought it's just kind of cool that they've pulled together. You know, I thought, is that a coincidence, or is there, you know, all
No,
that
there's lots of
thinking was
you'd
going
be surprised.
on?
There's lots
It's
of
quite
connections.
complex
Yeah, 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 yeah,
for a
yeah.
debut album as well. You
Yeah.
know, so so what did you do next for them? Did you
I think I
reserve?
then did another. I think I did another poster for them for the show at the Norwich
Right. Okay. Yeah.
UEA, I think. And again, it
Yeah.
was kind of hand colored done one. Then I think I did another one for Ivy Gardens as well.
Yeah.
So we were kind of getting into a bit of a rhythm, and then they played a benefit for Rock Against Homelessness in Dublin, and they said, "Oh, would you mind doing the poster for that?" So I did that as well, and then I suppose, you know, we were just kind of ticking along doing bits and bobs, and then through their label, when the next record was coming out, I was kind of invited to pitch alongside some other designers as well for the record, and I just thought, yeah, I gotta go for this. I've got to kind of put my hat in the ring, and yeah, and then I suppose kind of the rest was history, really.
History. Wow. So you actually had to you had to make a pitch. So you had to design something, did you, around a hero's death in advance? Is that
Yeah,
how?
yeah. There was a kind of like a bit of a brief that was put out, yeah, and I kind of responded to that, and you know, certain themes that the boys had put together and all of that kind of stuff, and so yeah, I kind of responded to what they were kind of putting out there. I think a
Yeah.
lot of, and then that was really interesting because it then set the kind of scene for how it would work going into the rest of the record as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they've obviously recorded a third album.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know anything about that.
No, do you know what? I'm actually telling the truth as well.
Yeah, I
No
know.
one's no one's
I
spoken.
believe you. I believe you.
Yeah,
Of course, of course.
no one's spoken to me. So you know, they might be going in a new direction, which is,
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
case, is
yeah,
like all power to them.
yeah. Oh, that's no. It's just. I think it's really good that they've gone back and, you know, kind of kept contacts and people that they've worked with previously. You know, obviously we've had so much.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel very lucky that because of that. Like, it's very they seem very just really nice, which doesn't always happen, you know. You know, yeah.
Do they tend to? I mean, with the posters, did they say we need a poster? Or do they give you ideas? Are they collaborative, or is it
Yeah,
basically
very collaborative.
we've got a gig and we just need a poster? Or
No,
do you get
no.
direction?
They're not that kind of band. Carlos, certainly on the posters, is very much in the detail of stuff, and we'll send you a load of references and be like, "This is what I wanted to communicate, and this is the look and the feel, and I'd like to use this picture, and I'd like it in, you know." So yeah, it's not just like, "Oh, we need a poster, do your thing." Like it's very, you know, it's very considered, like, and very thoughtful, which I hope comes through in the work, you know. Yeah, it's I think that's something that's really nice as well to work on as a designer, because I always try and bring ideas and concepts to whatever I'm kind of making as a kind of a visual artist. So it's really nice to work with a group of people that are like, yeah, like we really want this and this, you know.
And then with the pandemic, and obviously the work that went around a hero's death, how difficult was that to make that happen?
It actually wasn't too bad, because we were quite lucky. We kind of missed a lot of it. So like, we were actually working on that probably, like, you know, the end of 2019 into 2020. So we were actually tying up a lot of the work kind of like in the February, really getting stuff delivered. And so actually it was a really good experience, because, you know, I went over to Dublin to see the guys at the beginning, and we spoke, and then, you know, we went and met in the pub and passed prints around and looked at things in detail in real life, you know. So that was yeah, we were really lucky that we kind of just missed that moment, I think. You know, I think yeah, that would, it's fine. I think we've all recalibrated now, and people work in different ways. And like, I'm working with artists now that I haven't even ever met before, and it's fine. It's great, but like it's not like, yeah. I think I was very lucky that we could have a kind of personal experience with that.
Yeah,
I hope they would say the same too.
I'm sure. And you know, bearing in mind that Hero's Death didn't then come out until the end of July. You
Yeah,
know, you think that's a long, obviously pandemic had a lot to do with that, but it's a long lead time, isn't it, for all the preparation work and the
yeah.
creativity that's gone into it in advance. Well, I think that is everything I really wanted to chat about, Charlie.
No worries.
So really, thank you so much for your time. I really, really do appreciate it. It's been great watching, you know, TV Priest as well as the Fontaines connection. You know, it's just, yeah, lovely.
No,
So,
yeah, it's yeah, they're a lovely bunch. Really nice bunch of people with yeah, can't say enough good things about them.
oh, that's great. That's good to hear. I think we know that already, but then totally biased, of course.
No, they're really good, and yeah, and thank you for being so supportive of my my musical endeavors too. It's really very kind of you.
No, you're very welcome. It's I mean, it's actually something I've discovered in lockdown is music writing, which I just didn't do before. So
Really,
that's
that's
been a
great.
complete, yeah, found a new passion. So that's been fantastic, wonderful.
Amazing.
I just need
That's
to give up the day job, like most people in the industry, I suspect.
hey, I think there's something to be said about having a bit, you know, like I'm still going to be out on the road doing, you know, Twitter banners.
Yes, yes, yeah.
You
Because
know,
well, that's the thing. I mean, I think having the joking apart, it's having that balance, isn't it? You know, and if you're fortunate enough to have the income, then you can choose to spend time doing this other thing. And
yeah.
actually, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
No, it is. It's yeah, it's finding those ways of making sure you facilitate your kind of passion. And I mean, I think that's basically been my last, you know, since I've been about 15, has been trying to find ways to not to not do an honest day's work.
Yeah. Well, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true. It's no, but yeah, I think as long as you can kind of get to the end of the day and go like, yeah, I achieved one thing that I was like happy with. I think that's the
yeah,
main thing. Yeah.
absolutely.